Don't give up. You are so much closer than you realize. It takes 50 to get to 500. It takes 500 to get to 5,000. It takes 5,000 to get to 500,000, and so on and so forth. Like, we are always growing. We're always learning. If you're listening to this, I'm just assuming you're one of the we I'm talking about, right? We love that expansion and we love that growth and we love that healing and we just like go for it. And even if you're just in the beginning of your journey or you've been doing this for a while now, I just want to encourage you that the little things are adding up, even if you don't see it right now. So when I say it takes 50 to get to the 500, I just got 50 subscribers, which is amazing. I was inspired to do this channel like 11 years ago, and I have let everything be a priority except this, even though my intuition just kept screaming at me, do your YouTube channel, do your YouTube channel. And I was like, I don't even know what to do. Who wants to listen to me? I don't know. And finally, this year was like, I keep doing all of these other things and I love them and they're inspired, but I keep prioritizing things. And I'm like, oh, when I make this amount of money, then I can do my YouTube channel. Or when I get to this place in my business, then I can do my YouTube channel. And my intuition was just like, you're not going to go any further until you do it. And so I was just like, okay, I'm doing it. So here I am. Here we are. Welcome. I'm Melissa. I just get right into it, right? So that's the thing about it. It's like I just got 50 subscribers, and to so many people that would seem like nothing. But you know what? When I started this, I had 0 subscribers. I did a little video here and there. I think I had like 22, and then mid-January, so it's been about a month now, I've like committed doing 100 videos in 100 days, and I'm at 50 subscribers, and I love all of you. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. I will continue to open and receive so that I can give you exactly what I meant to and share with you what I meant to share, and keep showing up, and I will too. But I am celebrating that. So many people would be like, oh, 50 is not a lot, but that's 50 of you wonderful people. It's not just a number. There are 50 humans who are following this channel, who are listening to these messages that are coming through. And I appreciate all of that. And so, yeah, it'll be great when I get to 500 and I can get monetized. It'll be great when I'm having a larger impact and speaking to more people. But it's already great that I am getting to have an impact on 50 people. Like, that's amazing. And that's worth celebrating. And so I know, like, on our journey, there's always a next level, right? If you're someone like me and you're always like leveling up and going to the next thing, there's always the next thing. And it's important to recognize where you're already at, how far you've already come, like what you've already experienced and accomplished along the way, because otherwise it's never ending. Like, we're going to keep growing, we're going to keep learning, we're going to keep expanding until we die. So it's important to just stop and recognize these moments. So I really wanted to, recognize, I mean, there's more to come in this conversation, but first I just wanted to stop and recognize like this moment that I'm here with 50 people that are also here to expand, to understand themselves better, to self-actualize, to have a beautiful and amazing impact on the world while creating the life that they've always dreamt of, the life that's in alignment with their highest calling, with their soul. That's really cool. And I'm happy to be here with you. I'm like so happy to be here with you. And it's worth celebrating. So even if you you're breaking through walls. There's someone I like to follow. Her name's Melanie Ann Layer, and she put it in this perspective once that really helped, because when you're growing, it can seem like you just keep learning the same lessons. In a way, you do. But the thing is you're up leveling, so you're looking at those same lessons from a different perspective. And so she described it as like a spiral staircase surrounded by glass windows, right? And you come around the spiral and you're like, oh, I got through that. I've learned that lesson, grown, check, give me the next thing. And then you get back to the same place in the staircase and you're like, oh, shoots, I thought I already learned this. Why am I here again? Am I not getting anywhere? And it can feel so frustrating, but that's not the truth. You've gone up a level and you have a broader perspective on that situation. And when we feel like, oh, it's the same situation, it's hard to realize that. But I want you to take a moment next time you come on a situation, a pattern, a lesson that you feel like you've already learned, look at where you're at now compared to where you were the last time you came into this lesson. And I guarantee you're going to see growth. I guarantee it. I would love to hear about it. Tell me in the comments. I love to hear from you guys. It makes my heart smile. I love connecting with you. To me, you're not numbers, you're people, and I appreciate you and I love you. But it's important for one to celebrate the wins, to celebrate every milestone, not just in like goals, like external goals, but in your internal work. You know, every time you make a different decision than you would have made the last time you were in that scenario, that's worth celebrating. Take a moment and give yourself some credit for that, because that's hard work. And not a lot of people are doing this work. I mean, more and more people are waking up, great. And we kind of get in an echo chamber, because if you're in this world of growth and expansion, then you see other people who are growing and expanding. But if you look at the whole, like, we're definitely the minority. The amazing thing is that we have a bigger impact. So even being a smaller number, like, we have a bigger impact, and things are shifting and people are waking up. Like, sometimes it's a few steps back before you can take those steps forward, but people are waking up. But you're one of the rare ones. You are showing up for yourself. You are facing the hard things. You're facing your shadows and finding the light on the other side of them. And you're learning the lessons and not giving up. And even if you're not always healing, you're not always learning, great. You shouldn't be. You should be enjoying. I mean, I don't know, I do shouldn't, but it's important to enjoy life and to not consider yourself a project that constantly needs to be fixing. But if you're like me, you enjoy the expansion, you enjoy the growth and the learning, because it just helps you to discover a new layer of yourself and get to know yourself better. And I don't know about you, but the more I get to know myself, the more I love myself. And the more I love myself, the more I love everyone else around me. And it's just this beautiful cycle that it continues to expand my life in the most amazing ways, and that has brought me to all of you, all 50 of you. And that's the cool thing, is like, who knows, it could be next week, it could be next month, it could be next year, but I'm gonna be sitting here going, oh my god, we made 500, there's 500 of you here, and then there's gonna be like 5,000 of you and 500,000 of you. But those can't happen without the 50, without the first 5. The 50 couldn't have happened. And it doesn't always have to be multiples of 5. That's just where we're at today. But without each milestone, without each step, the next one wouldn't happen. You can't, jump up a flight of stairs and skip all the other stairs. That's not the way to get to the top. That's the way to fall and bust your face on the way down, right? And sure, we can quantum leap. We can make things go more quickly, but that doesn't mean that we're like getting in all the steps. Sometimes when we go beyond and we do jump a few steps, we end up having to come back and take those steps again. Because the cool thing about it is those steps all have something for us that's preparing us for the bigger thing, right? So I am learning from this, and whatever I'm learning and everything that I'm getting from this is going to apply to the next level of what I'm doing. And I've been like, since I started doing this, but in general, like my psychic, metaphysical gifts have been increasing, like to the point where it started to affect my sleep. There's a lot of energy, if you can't tell. But, and I love it, and it's amazing. And I'll share that in a whole nother story, actually, because I'm like learning what to do with that and how to use it or whatever. But this is like baby steps. And so I'm learning how to let these words come through me without overthinking it. I've stopped making notes. I've stopped planning. I'm just like, let it come and then express what's coming out. And I trust the process of that. And I trust what's coming through. And I trust that the algorithm is going to get it to the right people who need to see it and hear it. I trust that there is an algorithm that works beyond that, within the confines of these systems of social media and what else. And I believe if you're here, you're meant to be here. And this message is for you. And just try not to let yourself get discouraged when it feels like you're learning the same things over and over again. Because I promise you've gained something since the last time. But in those steps, there's something in those steps that prepare us for the next step, that prepare us for our next level. So just by trying to skip the steps, then you're likely going to have to come back at some point and learn those things that you didn't learn by skipping steps, because it's part of what you need to be prepared for the next thing. It's all like building in your toolbox and your foundation, right? You got to build a strong foundation. So don't get discouraged at the baby steps. The baby steps are necessary. Like, if none of us took baby steps, we never would have gotten to toddler steps. We never would have gotten to kid steps. We never would have gotten to teenage steps. We never would have gotten to adult steps, you know? Like, so many metaphors today. I love you guys so much. Thanks for hanging in there with me. A lot of metaphors. But you get what I'm saying, right? Like, we couldn't have taken grown-up steps if we had never taken baby steps, literally and figuratively. Like, the baby steps are necessary. It's how we learn. It's how we learn to walk, right? First we had to crawl, and then we got to learn how to walk, and then we get to learn how to run. And then we have to be real careful when we walk, because it hurts more when you fall if you're old. I'm just being silly. I'm in such a good mood. I love being here with you and coming home and getting ready to record a video, not even knowing. I'm just like, I don't know. Still haven't gotten a message today. Don't know what we're going to talk about. And then I look on the screen and 50. And then it just was so clear, like so clear that each step is a part of the process, and trusting that, and trusting yourself that you are growing and you are expanding and you're getting exactly where you need to be. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and go into that story about the gifts, because I feel like that really applies here, and that was a reason why it was coming up. So I've been getting, my gifts are expanding. My the more I use my intuitive voice, the stronger it gets. And I've always had impressions, and visions from people who have transitioned out of the non-physical. And recently, over the past year, I have started hearing from other people's guides, like their spirit team, and the spirit team has given me information, which has been a huge learning process, like learning what to share, what not to share. Sometimes the information is just for me. Sometimes the information is so that I could lead them to their guides and they can hear that for themselves. I used to think, especially if you watch my last video on setting yourself free from trying to fix everybody. I used to really feel like I heard these messages and that I had to deliver them to the people. But I'm realizing now that that's not necessarily the truth. A lot of times I'm getting the messages so that I can see the bigger picture of the person, and which helps me to know what their next step is. Not give them the whole big picture, but just give them their next step so that they can lead themselves there, because it's so much more powerful that way when we discover these things for ourselves. But the more I use my intuitive voice, the more it comes through. It gets loud, and it's gotten so where it can be challenging at times. And I just welcomed it. I'm like, cool, come on in. Let's have a party over here because it's exciting. It's fun. I've prepared myself for this, but it's gotten to where it's kind of intense. I'm in a very social phase right now. I'm being around a lot of people, and it's really intense because I'm already, being neurodivergent, I'm already noticing everything in the physical and everybody's emotions and feelings and energies. But now I'm also picking up on all of this other information and hearing from their guides and not knowing what. Sometimes it takes me a minute to realize what's going on. I'm getting these messages and I'm like, I know this isn't mine. This isn't for me. These aren't my guides because they're not familiar. And then putting it together and sometimes they'll just tell me I'm their guides, hello. So, I'm just figuring this stuff out, and it's been affecting my sleep. I go to sleep easily, and then after 4 hours, I wake up and cannot go back to sleep. And I need my sleep. We all need sleep, but I am one of those people that without a full 8, it's rough. The struggle is real, and I need that sleep. And so it's been a little over a week now, and I finally realized a few days ago, I was like, oh, I know what's waking me up. This is psychic energy. It's just energy that's there's so much going on that it's waking me up. And then yesterday, I was having a little beach sit with a friend. We were watching the whales and the sunset. I know, beautiful life got going on over here. But we were watching the whales and the sunset on the beach. And I had no idea that she even has metaphysical gifts. We talk about meditation and we talk about a lot of things. We're friends, but we haven't really gone deep into those kinds of things. And I just mentioned, I was like, oh, I've been waking up. And before I could even say it, she was like, oh, it's psychic stuff. It's you're getting psychic energy, and that's what's waking you up. And I'm like, I know. How do you know? You know? And then she gave me this amazing advice, and it just like felt so at home in my body. And she was like, you can control it, because recently I was given a message for someone else, and that person I wasn't really seeing a lot at the time, and they just wouldn't leave me alone. And I was like, if you want me to deliver this message, you have to create the opportunity. Like, this isn't on me. This isn't my responsibility. You need me. I don't need you, which is something that I've realized along the way. And one of my mentors, like, actually shared that with me, like, that just because I can hear it doesn't mean I'm at the mercy of it, right? So I just told him, you need me. I don't need you. If you want me to deliver this message, create the opportunity, and I will. And they did. Within a week, that person reached out to me, and there's been opportunity, and I have delivered the message. But if I had just gotten all of this stuff all at once, I would be a crazy person. I would honestly think I was losing my mind. I would have no idea what was going on. But because it's happened in bits and pieces, I'm understanding it. I'm like, oh, that's what's happening. Okay, now I can kind of see what's going on. So I was at the beach with this friend, and she confirmed what I had already realized a couple of days prior, which is that what was waking me up, because I'm not waking up with like thoughts or rumination or thinking about anything in my life, my everyday life. It's just energy, and I can feel it and can't get myself back quiet, like, and quiet energetically, like not quiet noise wise, but I'm splitting hairs here. Anyhow, so she was just like really like clear and was like, oh, you have to control this. Like, it's if you're letting it in all the time, it's going to drive you nuts. She was like, you've got to create a ceremony around it, tell it to stop and close it off, close up that crown chakra, like close it down. And then when you're ready for it to open up, create some sort of ceremony for yourself. And that lets everybody know, okay, now I'm ready to receive this information. And as soon as she said it, I was like, duh. Like, some part of me already knew that and just forgot or needed to hear. I mean, it was like this eternal part of me. It was just like, yep, that's the truth. That's exactly what I was supposed to hear today. Glad we made this happen. And she just had so much great information. And I was like, so clearly you have these gifts too, because you seem to know a lot. And she does. And she gave me some direction for my next steps, right? This is going back to the steps. I'm getting this in little pieces. It's happening bit by bit, because I wouldn't know what to do with it if it came all at once. And I know that there's more coming. I have seen a vision for what I'm meant to do in life, and I know that there's a lot more. This is just the tip of the iceberg. But even all of this would have been way too much. Like, for a long time, it was just me hearing from my ancestors and my loved ones, and occasionally other people's loved ones. And that felt like a lot. And then once I had really like come to grips with that and understood how to use it, then other people's guides started talking to me and giving me instruction for them. And that was a lot. And then once I had integrated that and understood it, then this more starts coming in. And that's the thing. It's like, I see the vision, and I have wanted the vision, like feeling like I was doing something wrong because I wasn't already there. But now I'm understanding that it's the steps. Like, I need every one of these levels to be able to handle it, like in all the ways, to be able to receive what's coming, to be able to deliver it appropriately, to be able to integrate every new situation and lesson and opportunity. It's all part of the process. So I was never failing. I was never behind. I was never letting anything or anyone, including myself, down. And neither are you. You need every one of the steps that you're taking. You're not doing anything wrong. You are on your course. Keep listening to your gut, your soul, your intuition, however you feel yours. Keep tuning in and give yourself a pat on the back for those steps that you're taking. And sorry, I got a mosquito flying around. He's going to get me if I'm not careful. But give yourself a pat on the back for every lesson that you're learning, every time you make a new choice, every time you choose something healthier for your soul, for your life, for yourself. And every time you choose joy over sadness, every time you choose rest over hustle, every time you choose tuning in over numbing out, that's worthy of being celebrated, because every single bit of that is necessary to get you where you're going. And you're going to need everything that you've learned with it, everything that's been integrated into your nervous system, into your body, into your mind, into your soul. Every bit of it's needed along the way. It's needed to be a part. It's a part of your journey. It's a part of it. So don't get in a hurry. Don't try to skip the steps. You need the steps. Appreciate them. Love yourself for taking the steps that you need. I was just thinking about losing weight, right? I naturally have just been, since I've been feeling better, and just I made a video about self-acceptance and body love, and it'll kind of explain more, but just kind of losing weight, and it'll stop for a little while. Like, I'll be losing weight. I'm not weighing myself. I can just tell by the way things fit and are, and it'll stop for a little while. And at first I was like, oh no, what have I done wrong? Did I forget something? Maybe I've done something wrong or whatever. But I was like, no, girl, and it doesn't matter. You're not doing this for the weight loss anyway. You're doing this. You're just being you, and the weight loss is the natural result of that. It's a byproduct of this self-acceptance and moving intuitively. And it's like, sure, I would like to be back to my pre-COVID weight. Sure, I would like to be back in the cute clothes that I love and all of that. But if I just dropped it all at once, first of all, I'm 43, right? I'm about to be 44. And every time I lose a few pounds, there's a few more wrinkles that weren't there before, because I guess my skin stretched and now it's kind of going back. The good thing is that I'm still producing collagen. I'm doing things to continue producing collagen, and my skin will catch up. But also in other places, the skin gets kind of loose. And that's the thing. It's like, sure, there's this goal of being back in my healthiest body. But if it all happened overnight, I would just be wrinkly and saggy and be like, holy crap, what happened to my face? What happened to my body? It would be a bit much. But it's the process, it's like lose some, kind of level out, maybe gain a couple pounds, comes back down, gain a couple, it just is this, it's not linear, and neither is your growth, neither is your healing, neither is you living in your life of purpose. It's not linear. It's steps. Sometimes we take a few steps forward and a couple steps back, but eventually, you are making progress, and it's important to recognize that. It can get so discouraging when there's always new levels, always new places to reach within yourself. It can feel like it's never ending, and it is never ending, but that's a good thing, because when you stop worrying about it and start enjoying the process and enjoying the ride, then you're happy that it's not going to end, because you enjoy it. Shoots, I didn't even know I was going to say that. See what I mean? Start talking. This comes through. Thank you, Spirit. Appreciate that message. I needed to hear that too. I needed to hear that too. Should we say it again? What did I even say? Yeah, like, enjoy the ride. Enjoy all those steps, because it's part of it. It's part of the joy of living this life. Like, it's what our soul wants to experience by being here in these bodies as humans, is this process of expansion and of co-creation. And the back and the forth and the up and the down is all part of that process. We don't want to skip to the end part. The end part means we're dead. If you do want to skip to that part, I have some videos about that too. Reach out to me. I'll point you in the right direction. Please reach out to me. I am here for you. I am a person. We are a community. You can get me through my website, liveallow.com, ALAU. It's for the alchemy of authenticity. You can reach me in the comments. I check them. Get me on Instagram at authenticallymelly. Reach out to me if you have questions, if you want to talk, if you want me to talk about anything in these videos, if you need some support, reach out to me. Right now, there's 51 of us in this community. Actually 50, because I'm one of those people on another account. 50 of us in this community. Right now, it's definitely within my grasp, and I'm here for you. So reach out. Let me know if this is helping you in any way, or if you have questions, or if you need a little support, a little encouragement. I got you. You got you. Appreciate these steps. Appreciate this process. One day you're going to be looking back from your next goal, and you're going to be like, oh, that was really cool how that happened and how that all lined up. I'm going to be looking back when I'm in a much bigger on a much bigger stage, and looking back and being like, that was so cool how when my gifts really started to show up in new ways, that I was just put in the right place at the right time with the person who had the right message for me, and then I was able to share that message with other people who needed to hear the same thing, right? So whether you're building a business or whatever you're doing, whatever you're working on, I know it's easier said than done to just enjoy the process and slow down and appreciate the steps, but really, you need those steps. You're going to need every one of those steps for where you're going. I love you. You know, I'm going to create a meditation for this. So look out for that. It'll be somewhere around here. Thank you for being here. I'm super proud of you. And I just hope you have the most amazing day.